It's time for the MCTS experience with Mr. Orfe and Mr. Nash. Discover your passion and unlock your future.
Hey, welcome everybody. Big episode of the MCTS experience today. And hello to you, my main man, Mr. Nash.
Yes! Welcome everybody. It's springtime. The seasons are shifting.
It's in the air.
We'll line them up, knocking down. MCTS, very successful year, very fun year. Glad to have everybody on board for another episode.
It has been a spectacular year, hasn't it?
It really, honestly, it has. I mean, I love the ebb and feel of the year where you start out, it's cobbly, everybody's on summer mode, then you ease into fall, and then it's winter break, and the next thing you know, it's your snow day and really learning your meat of your program, and the next thing you know, it's spring break, and you're looking towards the end of the run, and that's where we're at right now.
I know. It's a shame to see the year come to an end because it has been such a good year, but nevertheless, we're going to enjoy a good summer too, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Couple quick announcements before we get on your way, and I want you to save your big skills announcement for the big, juicy last one. We have a car show and barbecue fest coming here to the Cypex Center, 129 Bull Run Road, Saturday, May 11th from 10 to 2.
Tell me about this barbecue that's happening at the car show.
9 to 2. Excuse me. So here it is. The car show itself first. The New Jersey Antique Car Association. They come. It's their show. But I have never seen so many cool cars. I know that you're a car guy, Mr. Nash.
Yes, it's a varied grouping. It's not just imports. It's just not trucks. It's not antiques. It's everything.
It's everything. They even have a category for bikes and things like that.
That's
too.
Awesome.
But so that's really, really fun. And even if you're not into cars, just walking around looking at them is super cool. Additionally, now to answer your question, the barbecue fest. I see your mouth. I see your mouth watering, Mr. Nash.
Producer Nick, get me something. I'm drooling. Help me.
Get him a little a tissue or a napkin or something.
Any one of those
like that.
lobster bibs, I can put that on.
We've already got 5 or 6 different local barbecue outfits from Flemington and Lambertville and Trenton and Hamilton, all agreed to.
They're converging here on.
They're coming here that day.
Stop it.
And listen to this. Two of our students, Scott Nemeth and Ty Gonzalez, came up with this idea. During the car show, there's a little area cordoned off. You buy a ticket. Not much money.
Got it.
The ticket will go, sounds like it's $8.
Nice.
Ticket's going to be a donation to the school, okay? For that price, you get to taste barbecue from all these different places and then vote. And you get to vote for your favorites, first, second, third place. We're going to rank them. By the time this whole thing wraps up, we should have at least 8 or 9 different companies there. Plus some of our students are going to put up some food too. So it's going to be a big day and delicious.
I'm speechless. I can always say something. I'm just envisioning.
We know how you love to eat.
I love barbecue.
You're the new Mr. Lugo, and barbecue is one of my favorites too.
It's incredible. So what else? What else we got on the docket?
Just a couple more quick announcements. As far as graduation goes, the SciPec graduation, that means all the share time programs at SciPec will be June 13th. And it'll be here this year at the SciPec Center.
Ooh, I love that. It sounds exciting. Sounds fun.
I love it. We're going to have nice weather. It's going to be a beautiful day. Fresh air, birds, the whole 9 yards.
A lot of history and legacy at the MCTS graduation ceremonies.
Yes,
love
sir.
It.
Secondly, the STEM graduation, STEM Academy. These are full-time. This is the first class of STEM students we've had graduate. That'll be June 18th, which is also our last day of school.
Wow.
Here at SciPec as well. Assenpink Share Time graduation, June 13th, same as ours. That'll be at the Kelsey Theater on the campus of Mercer County Community College.
Love it.
That's rain or shine, by the way. And the Health Science Academy graduation, same place, Kelsey Theater, June 18th, same day as our STEM graduation.
Beautiful.
All right? Everybody got that? And now, give us the Skills USA update. Bust it out, Nash.
If you've been listening to our podcast as we tread into right after winter break, we start doing our Skills USA local. Skills USA is very quickly, for those of you that don't know, is a student-based, almost like a fraternity on a high school level for career and technical education, where students get to learn leadership and, most importantly, execute their area of study in a competitive environment that is unparalleled. There's nothing out there like that in the high school world, and our guys and girls rise up and face, and they work it out locally to determine who goes to states, and states occurred April 13th, and we had a plethora of winners, podium winners, bronze, silver, or gold. I mean, I'm just going to give you a couple lists. Automotive light maintenance, we swept the podium. Cosmetology Knowledge Bowl, 2 years in a row now, first place, team of 4 young guys and girls on that kind of information. basic masonry. We had a junior, Emily Konesh. She did phenomenal. Motorcycle service technology. A STEM freshman placed on the podium in motorcycle service technology. And this is like going through the electrical system and diagnosing complex problems with valve trains and other things. Very exciting. Culinary arts, a highly contested state contest. 21 counties in the state. I guarantee you there's 21 young guys and girls competing for culinary arts. I mean, think of how the food industry, the hospitality industry is transformed. Yeah. And kudos to our culinary senior, Anastasia Kuzimenko. She did phenomenally well.
Not a senior, sir.
Oh.
10th grader. 10th
Stop.
grader. She knocked it out of the park, 10th grade.
It just shows you how we're growing and how we're progressing. First time ever, barbering contest. Mrs. Cardinelli's student, Chris, she saw that he had some talent.
Yes.
They were a little unsure. They're like, hey, it's brand new. We don't know what we're getting into. He said, I want to do this. Jumped right in first place. He's going to nationals. So we got a whole group of guys and girls going to nationals. If you placed a gold medal, you move on to now the national contingent. And we had so much support from our staff preparing the guys and girls, as well as the staff that chaperoned the trip. And the students that participated did an unbelievable job. So it's incredible, and we're looking forward to giving you guys an update when we come back next year on how we did at Nationals.
I love it. Great. Two former guests of the podcast, Casper and Gianna, both both placed, right?
They were our Career Pathways Showcase, Natural Resources Agricultural. And if, again, you're listening, it's like, what is that? All right, imagine a contest that would normally be reserved for somebody that of a sophomore in college. Team of 3, group project, they get an industry partner, and they define something to educate about their career area of study. So it's incredible, and they nailed it. They partnered up with a cranberry farmer down in Chatsworth in the Pine Barrens to learn all about the cranberry industry and the aquifer. Incredible.
I love it. Congratulations to all of our students, those who participated, and of course those who kicked some butt last weekend or 2 weekends ago.
Absolutely.
And that's a nice segue into our Student of the Week.
And now it's time for Student of the Week.
Welcome, everybody. Our Student of the Week. We're very, very pleased to have her. She's a senior at Hamilton West High School, and she's about to finish our pre-nursing program. She's a share time student. Her name is Andreyanna Thermitus. Hello, Andreyanna.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us and for doing this with us.
Thank you.
Sometimes we have students that come to us and say, please let me be on the podcast. And sometimes we have students who are a little bit nervous and don't like to talk about themselves. And Andreyanna definitely fits into the latter category. She was plucked from her class because she's a pretty amazing person. I'd like to talk about a few of those things, okay?
Okay.
All right. So you are, first of all, you're about to finish our pre-nursing program, our share time program.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a nurse, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Where are you going to school when you're done here?
Rowan at Burlington College.
Okay. And how long is that program?
They have a 2-year associate's degree.
Okay.
And then they have the 4-year program, which is for the RN. And that's the one I'm going for.
You're going to study to be an RN in Burlington College's 4-year program.
Yes.
Okay. And then before we started recording, I asked you about what comes after that. You said something else.
BSN. Yeah.
BSN. Tell me about the difference.
The RN is a registered nurse, so it's just your average everyday hospital nurse.
Okay.
But most hospitals like for you to have a bachelor's of science in nursing, which is like just a little extra. Mm-hmm. So that kind of helps to more accreditation and just like different things.
And you'll likely, if you have the BSN, you'll have a better chance of getting work.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. How did you come to find this program?
We had an assembly at our school, and Mercer came, and then they explained their like vocational programs to us, and they gave us a list of like the different program options. And I've always kind of been interested in the health field.
Okay.
So they had the program which was previously known as the Health and Child Cares.
Yeah.
And so it was half of the 2 years you would do a child-based curriculum, which is more education, and then the second half you would do more of a health field, more focused type thing. So I thought that was really interesting because I've always liked children and I like the healthcare. So I thought that was a nice little combination.
Absolutely.
So I applied for that one and got in.
Excellent. And who was your counselor, by the way?
Anthony Belfiore.
Yes, we know Mr. Belfiore. He was MacGyver, our producer, Nick MacGyver-Sikowski. He was his basketball coach and golf coach, right? Yes. So we have to thank him for bringing it to us. And speaking of education, this is really, I hope you don't mind if I brag about you a little bit. You are a member of the National Honor Society.
Yeah.
So you're obviously a very, very good student.
Yeah.
You're
try.
big brother and big sister?
Yeah, it's a kind of mentoring program for the elementary school that's near Hamilton High West. So we go over, we kind of help the kids out with their homework, play with them, kind of show them like good role models in their lives. Someone who's like their age, but a little older, so they can have something to like kind of see when they grow up.
Yeah, somebody to look up to, right? Say,
Yeah.
I want to be like them. I want to be like you when I grow up because you're a much better student than I was. And then junior achievement as well?
Yeah, so that's another one for the elementary school, except that one's maybe like once a month towards like, we start around February and around May. And Mr. Belfiore puts it on and he goes with the organization and we go to any school in the Hamilton Township district, the elementary schools, and we go over there for the day. And the junior achievement program gives us like books and like just a bunch of different educational materials to kind of teach the kids about financial security, what's money, and like all the different things to kind of help them. It's like a personal finance, but for younger kids.
Oh, wow.
So it really does help them. And like, it's really fun because the kids get really excited and they really enjoy not only you being there, but also the stuff they're learning. Because they're like, wow, this is kind of cool. Like there's money, there's different types of things. And we get to do it from K to 5th grade. So it's like each grade has their own curriculum.
Wow.
So it's like if you want to deal with the younger kids, you deal with something more simple. And you just see their face kind of like starting to comprehend the basics of like life as an adult.
Yeah.
And then when you go to the older kids, it's more like, what do I do next? Because they're going to 6th grade. So they're going to be learning more about money and like the different things in the world. So it's kind of like their first taste of that.
Unbelievable. So, and it seems like you like it. You enjoy working with
I do,
kids.
actually.
You
It's
already
really
said
fun.
You like kids. That's great. I bet the lesson is imparted a little bit better coming from you than coming from, just another teacher or something like that. You're closer to their age of peer. Good for you. I want to say congratulations on all your achievements and everything that you've done. I wish you the best of luck at Burlington, and I'm sure you're going to be very successful.
Thank you.
Come back and tell us how you're doing.
I will.
Excellent. This is Andreyanna Thermitus, your student of the week.
Hi, this is Joey.
And Luz from Auto Collision.
And you're listening to the MCTS Experience.
Brought to you by Team Toyota of Princeton.
Toyota, let's go places.
Knowledge is power. It's time for Ask MCTS.
This session's Ask MCTS question I received via email. It's actually very, very timely, very poignant question because a lot of our classes now, Mr. Nash, are filling up fast, which is great. God bless those counselors for sending the students to us.
Absolutely.
And the students themselves for stepping out their comfort zones and coming out here. They're going to learn a lot. Now, the question is, what if a program is full? What happens if I apply and the program is full?
A very common thing that starts to brew right around now.
Happens a lot now. Some of the classes have been full since October, November, but now a lot of them are full. So what would you say to that parent?
Well, first and foremost is never, ever, ever think it's a no. I've worked here 20 years in the district. I taught auto shop for 10 years. Auto shop was a very interesting class. But aside from my own personal experiences, I've seen throughout the whole MCTS family, something gets real hot or very interesting on a social level in regards to parent interest or student interest. And all of a sudden that gloms and gathers a lot of attention and fills up. And parents are like, oh, no, it's full. My son or daughter. Hold the phone. First and foremost, if you apply to, say, 2 or 3 programs and the first one gets overfilled, you're going to start in the second program. And a lot of times we just see how guys and girls think. They target fixate on one area of interest. But the neat thing about the adolescent mind is it changes and redirects, if you would. So they almost rediscover an unknown area of interest by immersing themselves in the program. And then here's the good news. There is an attrition rate. In other words, when we start school right after Labor Day, Some students move away. Some students thought they wanted to do it, and they tried it out over the summer. They didn't want to do it. So there's some spots that pop open.
You bet.
And I remember being in a classroom. There was a student, Tim Schaefer, highly successful here. He's probably in his mid-30s now. He came into my class 3 weeks in. And now, is that desirable? Of course not. Everybody listening knows that. But Tim picked it up. He wanted it. He was passionate. He was a Steinert student. And he said, I really want to get in here. And he was a tremendous success. He lives in Chesterfield. He works in the industry. He's incredible.
That's great.
So, I mean, don't ever think it's over.
Jessica from the Baking and Dining, she started this year in cosmetology.
Correct.
And said, you know what, I don't know about this. Let's try some other programs. We took her over to Baking and Dining. She loved it. She ended up being one of our people who placed in Skills USA this year.
Yeah, she worked at Baking and Dining, front of the house, hospitality industry, tremendous, opportunities. She competed in the restaurant contest, highly contested. 28 kids competed in restaurant service. And again, this isn't like, hey man, take your order. This is a high-end, customer service industry, which in this day and age is a tremendously valuable component no matter what you end up doing.
Of course.
Whether it turns into a college job or a post-secondary job or maybe even to a career, you can learn so much from this. And this girl started out leading down the path of cosmetology. All of a sudden, 2-3 weeks in, she felt like the shoe was giving her a blister and it wasn't going to work out. And everybody knows what that feels like. When you try something on, it doesn't fit and you want it to fit and it doesn't. That's a hard thing to go through. And we help kids navigate those emotions here. I know you do, Mr. Simic, myself, the instructors on campus. So whether you apply and you don't get the one you want, hold tight. Pick a number 2. Stay in there. Hey, you might love it, or you could circle back to the office after a week or 2, 3. Hey, listen, I'm here. Is there any openings for this class that I really wanted? And look, I never say all the time, but I can guarantee you it works out more than it doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. So the short answer to that question is have a backup choice. When you apply online at mcts.edu, it leaves slots for 3 choices. Pick all 3. Pick 3 different classes.
Yes, and it doesn't deem you into just missing out on one.
No.
Here's the beautiful thing. We're a service industry. We care about guys and girls that want to learn about a certain program. That's the difference between who we are and what we do. When kids love the program they're in, they come alive. Producer Nick, you came alive when you came to Graphic Arts back in 2005, 2006. And that's the underlying theme of every guy and girl that becomes successful here at MCTS and CTE education.
They get here, some kind of fire is lit up.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Mr. Nash, for your answer. We'll be
Try
back.
to stop me again. You can't.
I can't.
I'm kidding.
If a train is leaving Chicago traveling
stop.
120
Don't you do
miles
that.
an hour.
Oh, my God. Oh, don't do that. Look at it. I said try to stop me, and he worked me.
We'll be right back after this.
We don't stop learning after the bell rings. Guess what? It's time for teacher tips.
Welcome back, everybody. Our teacher tip this week comes to us from Mr. Bender. Mr. Bender is our criminalistics instructor, and he was a police officer, 14 years? Yes. Take it away, Mr. Bender.
Teacher tip from Mr. Bender. With prom and summer season coming about, I want you to be safe on the roadways. With that being said, there may be some people who choose to drink alcohol or maybe use a substance and decide to get behind the wheel of a car. Now, that is a very, very poor decision, and those poor decisions could be met with very serious consequences. Not only could you lose your life in a car accident or hurt someone you love, if you were stopped by the police department, you have a lot of explaining to do. What I mean by that is if you're drinking alcohol and you're under the age of 21, any reading whatsoever will be used against you for a DWI proceeding. An adult over 21 who has a reading over a .08 or the legal limit has their day in court. However, any reading for someone under the age of 21 will be found guilty of DWI. Also, a reminder, with cannabis and the use of marijuana, it may be legal down the roadway. It is still highly illegal in New Jersey, and using a substance like marijuana and driving a car is also charged as driving while intoxicated. So with that teacher tip, have a safe summer, and please think before you drive.
Thank you very much. Wise words from a wise man and former police officer, Mr. Bender. Thank you.
Hey, you, come here. Check it out. They're in our school. They're in our community. They're around the corner. welcome our featured guest.
Big day today. We rarely do this, but it's a very exceptional day because we're up here at the Health Career Center. Our featured guest is the legendary, the one and only Hope Nemeth.
That's very kind.
It's the truth. It's the truth. You're a legend. You, as a matter of fact, I don't know if you know this or not, but your class set a record for filling up your signups as far as admissions go.
Woohoo!
Which you know I have a hand in. I look at those numbers. It's a world record. not just for Mercer County Technical Schools. The entire nation, no class has ever filled up as quickly as your pre-nursing class.
There's lots of people who want to be nurses. It's very exciting.
I think it's partially a testament to you as well. I think that people are like, she's a great lady, she's a great teacher, let's get in there immediately.
Thank you so much. It's very kind.
Speaking of pre-nursing
Yes.
and you being a great teacher, you helped write the curriculum that changed this program from being health and child care to pre-nursing. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that.
So administration actually came up to me and asked me because there was a great need for the healthcare field, and it seemed as though all of my health and child care students were interested in nursing. So they kind of were put in health and child care by default, and it was the closest thing to nursing.
Okay.
So then administration came up to me and they said, would you be interested in trying to help develop a curriculum for pre-nursing? And that's my niche. So absolutely, I was very excited, and the students have loved it ever since. So it's been great.
Awesome. Yeah, of course. It's your niche because you were a nurse before this.
Yes.
Yes.
I am still a nurse.
Of course. I'm so sorry. But you're an educator as well now.
Absolutely. Yeah. I consider myself, if someone asks me, I say I'm a nurse educator. But so my career started, I actually went to Rutgers University and I majored in public health, and I graduated, and I didn't really want to be in the public health field. So I did a second degree, went to Drexel University, did an accelerated nursing program, and so I graduated with my BSN, or Bachelor's in Nursing.
Okay.
From there, I kind of got right into the hospital and started working on a med-surg floor, which are generally ill patients, but my intention was to work in intensive care units. So I put in about a year on the med-surg floor and then worked in a neuro ICU for about a year, and then found my niche in medical and cardiac ICU. And it has been awesome. So then the cool thing is I was able to transition from being a bedside nurse to now being a nurse educator. And there are so many opportunities in nursing, which makes it a great field to get into.
Yeah, absolutely. What's when you were in the ICU? Tell me, like, what's the, without revealing anybody's personal information, what's the weirdest thing or the grossest thing that you ever saw?
It's hard to tell you what is the grossest thing or the weirdest thing, because the cool part about nursing is every day something is different. And you will never come into a shift being like, this is going to be such an easy, light, quiet shift, because it's not. And that's the cool part about it. But it's really neat because no matter how crazy your day is, your coworkers are your team. Even though you might have a patient, you all work together. So no matter how crazy it is, and it gets so crazy, you're like, I'm never going to get done this 12-hour shift. And you do. And your coworkers help you out, and they become your sisters and your brothers, and you appreciate them even more than you did the day before.
Wow, that's lovely. Now that must have been tough. I know you have a daughter. Do you mind talking about her?
Yeah, of course. I love to talk about her.
Ellery.
Yes.
She's adorable.
Thank you.
So talk about her and life for her, with her, versus being an educator or a nurse.
That's such a great question. So the reason why I left bedside nursing was because I had a daughter at home and I wanted more stability in my schedule. So as a nurse, you work nights, you work holidays, you work weekends. Even though you only work maybe 3 to 4 shifts a week, it's usually when a lot of people are off. So I made the change in my profession to become a nurse educator because I wanted more available time with Ellery. So now I work from 7:45 to 3:15. I pick up my daughter at daycare, and we get to spend the entire evening together, and it's awesome. And I get to have the weekends off. I get to have the holidays off, and you take it for granted when you have it. But then when you are in a profession where holidays are no longer special because people are sick and they're going to be sick and you have to take care of them. You no longer, I do not take those holidays off for granted anymore because they're amazing, you know.
Sure.
So there's pros and cons, obviously, to a normal schedule, which would be Monday through Friday and then working weekends. But for the most part, I, as a mom, love having the holidays off, the nights off. It's amazing.
Absolutely. All right. I'm sure Ellery appreciates it too, right?
Oh yeah, like tonight we're gonna go and have an Easter egg hunt.
Because you bought the eggs to die, as you told us off the air.
Exactly.
We got eggs. Ellery, she's coming home. We're going to color eggs this weekend. Awesome. Last question, just to get back to our program here now, the pre-nursing program. So what happens with this program that prepares them to go on and be a nurse or to go to school or whatever they're going to do? We just spoke to one of your excellent students, Ms. Thermitus, and she's kicking butt. So how can everybody else, a person who's never been here before, why should they come? What are the advantages of it? What's going to help them later on?
So the big component of this program that I love and I think puts my students above the rest is that they provide direct patient care once a week at a rehabilitation facility or a subacute rehab. So they're 16 to 18 years old, and they are already providing care to patients. And that's such a big portion of being a nurse, which is being careful or being conscious of how to take care of a patient, how to speak to a patient, how to take care of their basic needs. We're talking about brushing teeth, giving bed baths, just talking to them.
Yeah.
As a 16-year-old student, I probably would not have been mature enough to do it. And these students not only do it, but they excel at it. And patients are so happy when they come in and they get one-on-one care. And the nurses and the aides that we work with respect the students so greatly because they are so excited to be there and to learn.
Wow.
So, I mean, I think that's the one thing that puts our students above all the rest because they have that direct patient care. But also, they learn the anatomy and physiology of the human body. They learn the abnormals of the human, if something goes wrong in the human body. And then they also learn like little nursing interventions that you utilize as a nurse every day. And you might not even think about it as that, but they're already starting to work and develop that professional mind building strategies, I guess is the best way of putting it.
They're thinking like a nurse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At 16 years old, 17 years old. It's amazing. And you see the transition of these students that went from having no idea what they were doing because it was their first day to all of a sudden coming and going to clinical and feeling confident that they can transfer patients, that they can bathe a patient on their own, that they can answer questions. And then the best part is that they'll go to the nurse with a question that is completely appropriate and with all the information they need. And then the staff that works with them are just impressed with that professionalism.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's an awesome transition to see.
What a great opportunity, too, for them. It's not like in a classroom environment, right? You don't do your history homework, so you get a bad grade or the teacher yells at you or whatever. But here, if you don't come to clinicals, if you don't do a good job, Mr. Jones is going to get his teeth brushed.
And yeah, he's going to be angry and he will not, and he'll take it out on you. And you have to even learn how to deal with that of a patient saying, I'm not happy with this. And you have to navigate that because patients are sick. They expect certain care.
Yeah.
And that's your task. Now, don't get me wrong, these students, they are workers and they have a lot of studying to do. So the big thing is sometimes my students will say, Ms. Nemeth, we're in the classroom a lot. And I said, because before you go into a patient's room, you have to know more about them than the average person. You can't touch a person without understanding why you're touching them. So they do a lot of studying. They do because they need to be knowledgeable of why they're doing what they're doing. Because it's a human life. That's the big zinger. It's a human life.
Very nice. That's a very, very nice note for us to wrap it up on. Ms. Nemeth, thank you for all your work. I'm sure the kids appreciate it, and we do too. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. You guys are great.
That wraps up another outstanding episode of the MCTS Experience. Mr. Nash, final thoughts, please.
It's just incredible how fast the time's moving by and how we're prepping our junior and sophomore students to get out into career-based internship employment, not because they need to get some summary schlep job, but to build on those skills that they've been learning all year. I mean, it's May, literally, like we're going to blink and we're into May. And once you hit May, pull the lap bar down. It's like going on a roller coaster and doing the big drop.
You bet.
You got to get it going.
Producer MacGyver Nick, will this air on the 30th or on the 1st? Are you sure yet? Right before. So if you're listening to this on the night of the 30th, tomorrow, May 1st, National Decision Day. We want our college students to wear something that if you know where you're going to school, bring it with you.
Beautiful.
However, our share time students that are not going to college, if you have a job, if you have a place you're already working, if you're going to be out there in the employment world, you're starting your career path now, bring something from your work. We want to honor you guys too. It's a great, great way to let everybody know that there's so many different ways to be successful.
Everybody gets pigeonholed and thinking there's only one way. No. When you graduate high school, there's 4 ways. 2-year, 4-year school, trade school, career-based employment with upward mobility, or an actual trade school in the evening while you're learning from a master craftsman during the day.
Heck yes.
Those are the 4 pathways that lead to adult freedom, adult success, adult opportunity.
If you've made a military commitment as well.
Absolutely.
We want to know about that. So bring all that information with you, a contract, a shirt, a piece of clothing, anything like that, a paycheck, a pay stub.
Absolutely.
All right? That's May 1st. So I want to take a moment to thank Andreyanna Thermitus, our student of the week, and the great Hope Nemeth, our instructor in pre-nursing over there at the Health Career Center. Of course, big thanks to our staff member who provided the teacher tips. And I want to remind you to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We also have a YouTube channel.
Pinterest.
Follow us on Pinterest. Do you like us or follow us on Pinterest? Or do you pin us on Pinterest?
I think you can look us up. I think you check us out.
We are all
see
over
our
Pinterest.
content.
Come check it out. Mr. Sikowski has been working very hard on that page, so come check it out. And, of course, check out our YouTube channel and share this podcast with a friend.
Please.
For heaven's sake.
You're gonna help guys and girls get off Teenage Island.
Absolutely. That's the whole mission here, getting
That
off
is.
Teenage Island, out in the world, being productive citizens. So until then, this is Mr. Orfe on behalf of myself and MacGyver Sikowski and the great Mr. Nash. Want to remind you to discover your passion
And unlock your future.